There's a lot I don't like about shopping at airports. Firstly,
what I don't really like about shopping at airports is probably the fact that there's a lot of
they often expect
I
the
feel
prices in the
browsing
airport to be
is very...
I think airports are a kind of unique space in society whereby we have this amount of time with very little distraction from the outside world. And so when you enter this kind of area where you have the ability to be able to shop and not do much else, given that you are just waiting for your flight, then I think on the whole there's a lot of potential there, and I like the fact that there is that little distraction.
I personally love airport shops because it gets me excited, especially going to so many different airports all of the time. Every shop has things that are in common with each other, but also differences, which I think is really interesting and fun to explore.
So it's fabulous that there are so many different items to choose from, but sometimes if you're just browsing, it can be a little bit confusing.
So if it's a big airport with lots of things, lots of variety, then it's great, but if it's a small airport, then it can get pretty boring.
That's true, and if you're travelling, I suppose at peak times it can be a little bit crowded, especially some of the shops, maybe the aisles are a little bit tight, a little bit small, so it can be a little bit challenging. Also, of course, there is always a slight price difference between buying something, for example, online, when you can actually shop around and find the best price, whereas in an airport you're kind of given the one option.
I think airport shops are really great, especially if they make an effort to reflect their local community. Often travelers, the only thing they know about the city or get to see about a city is the airport. So an airport shop that reflects the city, has some local products, even has some local decorations, makes it very welcoming. So I really like airport shops that do that, and just general airport shops because it's something to do in the airport.
One thing that I get quite frustrated with is when you go through an airport, you're kind of herded through a duty-free shop to get anywhere. There's quite a lot of precious selling as you walk through. There's people ready to pounce on you and try and sell you things, and sometimes that can feel a little bit intimidating as you wander through. I think also that kind of enforces that you're being rushed through a little bit. You don't really get the chance to savour what you're looking at. You're kind of herded from one place to the next and don't really get a chance to actually look at the products properly and take an informed decision. It's all very impulse-based as you go through, and that's something that does kind of turn me off a little bit, I have to say.
What I don't really like about shopping in airports is probably the fact that there's a lot of expensive stuff around. So I feel browsing is very dangerous because there's always a lot of really, really high quality, expensive brand products, which is nice to look at and smell and try, but it's probably not so nice for your wallet all the time. So I think it's also got a bit of a danger to it in that sense.
I think the thing I like most about shopping in airports is having everything in one place. Like when you want to go and get a product, you would go to the shop that sells the product, and you might have to go to 10 shops if you wanted to get 10 different types of products. But in the airport, you kind of have everything really close by, so you can go wherever you want really fast and pick up a product, and then you can just go like 2 meters away and pick up a different type of product, and I think it's really convenient.
What I don't like about shopping in airports is probably the amount of people with luggage, and the sort of, if there's not a lot of space, it can feel a bit cramped, or usually that I don't have enough time because I don't allow myself enough time to browse properly, so I'm a bit rushed for decisions.
There's a lot I don't like about shopping at airports. Firstly, and I think it's what I notice myself and what I hear from passengers as well all of the time, is that they often expect the prices in the airport to be significantly cheaper given the element of so-called duty-free. Often that isn't entirely the case with certain items in the airport, and that's almost frustrating when you see an item more expensive airside than it would be prior to your entry into the airport. So that's definitely a negative. Another negative point about shopping in airports is they often don't have the range that you would hope, whether it be in clothes sizes or in items that have already reached, for example, the high street store outside in the country that you're in, but it just takes that bit longer to enter the airport, and I think for that, airports cannot always guarantee a stronger shopping experience. It tends to be subpar in terms of if you're looking for something specific, you have to be quite lucky to be able to actually find it at the airport, depending on what you're buying, of course.